Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Ashley DePaolo, and I am the president of CommCreative. And I'm joined here today with Esther Tetreault. She is the co-founder and co-owner of Trillium Brewing Company. Esther, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
So, Esther, I have long admired Trillium Brewing Company. We are big fans in my house. And I've also read that you and your husband, JC, who's also the co-founder and co-owner, when you set out on this journey together, it was all about building something that was much more than a brewery. You know, I've often said the same thing about my company, CommCreative, that we're much more than a marketing agency. And when I think about what that means to me, it's about giving people a really wonderful place to work, doing work we can be really proud of, and finding ways that we can give back to the community. So for you, what does it mean to be more than a brewery?
Yeah, for me and JC, when he said, I think I'd like to have a brewery. I mean, that was the moment for me where I was like, okay, let's talk about this. So JC and I are naturally entertainers. We love to host. We love to create experiences for people. When JC and I were planning Trillium, it actually started because we were planning our wedding. And so we homebrewed not just one beer for our wedding, we homebrewed 3 beers for our wedding. And we created labels and an entire brand, just kind of this entire immersive experience. That was really our ultimate experience. We were in this beautiful pastoral setting, sitting in a vineyard with all of our family and friends. And that was what we wanted to create. We wanted to create spaces and experiences and products that could anchor, but allow people to celebrate what was most important in their lives, to be surrounded by their family and friends, and of course have like great beer and amazing food, but be in life's moments. And so for us, it was about creating unique and beautiful spaces that celebrated their locations and felt part of communities, and food and beverage that we could produce. And, that's kind of where the farm comes into play for us as well. It was really about taking all of those things to the next level, connecting the dots, and just celebrating life.
I love that. One of the things we've done at CommCreative is that when we built out our newer space that we've been in since 2016, we reserved some of that and created sort of a living, breathing art gallery where we can invite in typically emerging artists in the community, predominantly female, to showcase their work, and we're able to rotate them in and out every 3 months or so. And it gives us an opportunity to invite the community in, look at beautiful art, but at the same time keep our own team extremely engaged and motivated and really thinking very creatively because of all this beautiful art that we surround the building with.
That's incredible. And that's the other part of it, is bringing the team into it. So we knew that we could never do this all by ourselves, and we didn't want to because that's not fun. So we wanted to, of course, engage our community and create experiences that our customers would enjoy. But the same has to be true for our team. So we wanted to expand, and not just in size or scope, but expand the team and bring people in who have different experiences and different expertise, and who could really contribute and feel that they're a part of Trillium and what it is that we're trying to create, and be successful along the way.
So I don't know about you, but as an entrepreneur and business owner, this pandemic completely stopped me in my tracks and forced a pivot I never ever expected. It's been an incredibly challenging time, but now that we're getting through it a little bit and I can look back, I can see that there was a lot of good that came out of it for me and for my business as well. And I'm sure I'd have to imagine you would say the same thing as we sit here in your beautiful new facility and launching new products and doing all kinds of amazing things. So can you just talk for a little bit about some of the opportunities and challenges you've experienced over the last 15 months?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you just couldn't have expected it. And so we faced the exact same challenges that everyone in the world faced. And really, ultimately, that was fear that just shook you to your core. It was a fear of your own mortality and that of your family and your friends. And am I going to lose people that I love and care about, and my team and my customers, and it was so heavy. And everybody was feeling that. What's the right thing to do? And there was no playbook. There was very little guidance. And so we were constantly trying to figure out what to do next. And so recognizing that we had a responsibility, for us, it always comes down to safety first. It's one of our core values. And that was what really rooted us. We are very foundational people. JC and I are always like, okay, at our core, what is most important? And of course, that was safety. That was literally survival. It was the health of the people that we care about. And so we knew we needed to keep our team safe, keep our family safe, keep our customers safe, and keep our community safe. And so we definitely made the decision that we had to shut down service. That said, we were deemed an essential service. And so we were able to continue producing beer. So that was an opportunity for us, obviously, to keep the business alive, to keep some of our team employed, but also to really fill a need for our customers. And so, in this time where everybody's locked down and uncomfortable and feeling, like this anxiety, we were able to reach people in a way that felt safe, in a way that was comforting, and kind of gave them a little bit of a reprieve from the stressors that were just hitting us every day. So we're very much adapt, pivot people. It's just part of the core of how we operate here. This is definitely not a if it ain't broke, don't fix it place. So we're always looking to innovate, and continuous improvement is one of our core values as well. So we pivoted to home delivery service. And so, again, thinking about safety first, thinking about our team, thinking about our community, that was a natural way for us to reach out and to continue to reach people and to provide this service with exceptional quality that they had come to expect. So that was just one opportunity. And, for our global fan base, reaching them around the world and keeping our media going and trying to interject some light moments there was the way for us to keep people feeling connected, because we were all experiencing the same thing.
So, Esther, we both work in industries that are fairly white male dominated, especially at the executive level. Mm-hmm. And I've heard you talk about, just having a culture of inclusivity and what that means to you. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it was really important for me and JC where, again, we could create a space where everybody felt welcomed and valued. And so I think one of the things that was interesting for us at the beginning is we recognized that we actually needed to both define our values and then share them with people and be really communicative about it. So I've been told how lucky I am to find a guy like JC who values me and who believes in equality. And I counter that because I don't think of myself as lucky. I would never be with somebody who felt any differently. And so it's not enough to just be that. It's not enough to just be warm and welcoming. You have to actively speak out about it. And so I think that has helped us to create our culture internally. So one where people understand who we are and what we represent. And we've been talking about the last year and the opportunities and the challenges that came from that. And I think that one of the things for us that came out of it was really being able to speak to issues, social justice issues, and kind of the topic of inclusivity and diversity and how important that is. And so for us, it goes to that concept of it's not enough to just not be racist, for example. You must be anti-racist. And what you want to create, you have to speak to that environment. And so that's one of the things that for us was a real turning point last year. And we've been actively speaking out a lot more using our platform and our voice and taking action to both make our team feel comfortable and safe, and then let our customers and our fans and our industry know what we want to see for change.
So Esther, at CommCreative, we've experienced a lot of growth over the last several years, and more so than ever over the last 15 months, while we've been mostly remote. It's definitely given me some time to think about our culture and how important it is to us, but also how challenging it is to really grow our culture while we've been mostly virtual. You, too, have had a ton of growth, especially over this time. Can you talk about how you scale your culture as you grow?
Yeah, actually, kind of how I was referencing speaking out about what our values are and defining that culture that we want to create. It was a learning curve for us, one that we actively recognized at a certain point in time over our growth and expansion. When we first started, JC and I were working in production and in retail and on the ground. And so we were really close with and connected with our team. And as we've grown to both expand the team, expand the business and our roles, but also add new locations, it's become impossible for us to maintain that level of connection. And so we had to, again, really work to define what those values of our culture were that we felt were integral to who Trillium is and to our success, and then be able to speak about them internally. So we do actually we have a very comprehensive onboarding experience, and it actually starts with our recruitment process as well. We're very clear about who we are and what we stand for and what we do. So that way there are no misconceptions about joining our team. And so people know exactly who we are when they start here, and then we outline it for them and we define what our values are and what we stand for and what our expectations are for quality and for service. And so being able to do that makes it super clear, and people feel both valued and like they're contributing. JC and I are co-owners, husband and wife, co-parents. And so we've always been about family values as well. Just as an example, I was adamant that at our first Canton location, we're sitting in our newest one right now, at our first one, we put changing tables in the men's room. And I can't tell you how many times I've been thanked by men with little babies hanging out, having drinks on a Tuesday afternoon, because they felt that family connection. They felt like this was a place where they could come and just be who they were and experience their life here. And so the remote experience has been interesting. We always used to say it was really important to be here, to be part of the team, to be connected, but there are so many other priorities that our team has to factor in. And JC and I had to juggle our kids being remote while also still working. And so creating a space that allows for that flexibility for our team now was vital. And I think it's changing how we intend to operate moving forward.
All right, Esther, finally, let's talk about one of my tried and true loves, marketing. So what can we expect out of Trillium's marketing over the next year and beyond?
Yeah, well, it's always something new here. You talked about one of our new products that we recently launched, our Soak Seltzer, and we are sitting in this incredible new building that we will continue to build out over time. But from a marketing perspective, one of the other things that has changed for us over the last year is a real recognition of our global community. And we've internally identified a whole new segment that we are now kind of affectionately calling our at-home experience. Pivoting to Trillivery, we realized we were reaching people where they are, where they're comfortable. It was an opportunity for us to take a look at what our reach is. And so one of the things we've been talking a lot about is the fact that our marketing, our media, is probably our most consumed product at this point. And so over the last couple of years, we've done some fun things to engage people at home or around the world where they can't come here and have a beer or get, Trillium delivered to them. So we've done fun things like coloring contests. This past year, we did our first virtual 5K. We are active supporters of an organization called Family Reach. I sit on the National Advisory Board, and they provide financial support for people going through long-term cancer treatment, because it really is a huge stressful burden. And so you can imagine during COVID, double burden. And it was really difficult. And so that was one of the things where we realized we can't give up this cause at the time where they need it the most. So we did a virtual 5K, and we had participants around the world. It was actually a hugely successful event. We raised a ton of money, and we engaged this broader community that wouldn't have been able to participate if we held it in person with a limited occupancy. And so that's one of the things that we are focused on now, is being able to reach our global fan base and come up with fun new ways to keep them engaged.
Esther, thank you so much for joining me today. I know I got a lot out of this, and I'm sure our audience did too. And thanks to all of you for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day.